the very beginning of the episode, Kim is shown running joyfully with his parents. It is during this moment that the truth is confirmed: Kim actually has two fathers. This little detail suddenly makes sense of why he carries two last names, something that had always seemed unusual before. A little later, we see Ondine carefully applying Kim's favorite banana-flavored lip balm. She hopes that this small gesture might finally encourage him to kiss her, something she's been waiting for with quiet patience. Kim notices and for a brief moment leans close to her face as if he's truly about to give her the kiss she wants. Ondine closes her eyes slightly and leans toward his lips, her heart beating fast with hope. But at the very last second, instead of kissing her, Kim playfully grabs her nose like a child and laughs. Ondine's face freezes in surprise, the moment instantly ruined. Kim bursts out laughing and runs away. Ondine chases after him, half annoyed and half embarrassed. She had been expecting something tender, but Kim brushed the tension away with humor rather than affection. In another part of the episode, Marinette is seen sitting with her group of friends, engaging in a light-hearted conversation. She asks them a thoughtful question: whether they tell their boyfriends or girlfriends absolutely everything about their lives, or if there are some things they keep private. Mylene shows honestly that she doesn't know all the details about Ivan's family background. But despite not knowing every single fact, she feels that she truly understands him as a person, and that is what matters the most. Kagami then explains that for her, communication with her boyfriend is not always so simple, since he lives far away across the sea. Curious, Rose asks Kagami how the two manage to keep in touch with such distance between them. Kagami smiles and answers that they use video calls. What Rose doesn't realize, however, is that Kagami and Felix actually use their miraculous powers to secretly meet each other in person. For Ondine, though, things are far less easy. Unlike the other couples, she has never once received a kiss from Kim. He has also never openly told her that he loves her. This leaves her caught in a cloud of doubt, wondering if they are truly a couple at all. Yet, she hesitates to confront him directly. She doesn't want to demand a kiss or put pressure on him, she only wishes for it to happen naturally. Seeing this, Marinette and the others decide to step in. They want to create the perfect opportunity for Kim and Ondine to finally share their first kiss. Marinette remembers her own first kiss with Adrien and tries to recreate the atmosphere of that special moment. She recalls the time when Adrien was about to leave Brazil for London on a plane, a bittersweet memory. But as she and the group try to set up something similar for Kim and Ondine, it quickly falls apart. Ondine isn't leaving anywhere, and Kagami and Rose point out that not only do they lack a plane, but Kim doesn't even own a scooter. The plan turns into more of a funny joke than a true romantic gesture. The friends then shift to another idea, writing a heartfelt poem. Mylene explains how such a gesture had worked beautifully for her and even in the past. Meanwhile, in the background, Ray and his two friends, Loic and Nelson, are scheming to cause trouble. They want to break up Kim and Ondine. Ray shows Kim a pair of diving shoes and tells him that if he wants to have them, he should avoid speaking to girls. Innocent and naive as ever, Kim simply agrees. Later, Ondine builds up her courage and reads a poem to Kim. Instead of taking it seriously, Kim bursts into laughter, saying he finds it funny. This hurts Ondine deeply and embarrasses her. Marinette and the others, however, do not let this failure stop them. They quickly begin thinking of another plan. Kim, on the other hand, believes he has somehow failed a challenge. Feeling guilty, he gives the diving flippers back to Ray. What he doesn't realize is that it was never a real challenge at all, it was just part of Ray's trick to create distance between him and Ondine. Soon after, Loic tries to interfere as well, telling Kim not to speak to Ondine anymore. But Loic cannot even give a proper reason, and his words sound like nonsense. This time, Kim stands his ground and says no. At this point, Kagami suggests a new plan. She proposes a simple and playful idea using biscuit sticks. Kim and Ondine would each bite one end of the stick and nibble closer until their lips met in a kiss. Marinette and the others carefully prepare the setup, creating the perfect moment. Ondine bites one end of the stick and waits, full of hope, for Kim to join in. But Kim spoils the plan by simply eating the whole biscuit on his own. Ondine, embarrassed and frustrated, storms off while her friends can only share in her disappointment. Not long after, Nelson steps in with another scheme. He spreads ridiculous lies to Kim, telling him that if he kisses Ondine, warts will grow on his back and eventually turn him into a toad. As if that weren't enough, Nelson adds an even more absurd warning that if a girl happens to be taller than the boy, kissing her could trigger a dangerous allergic shock. Surprisingly, Kim believes these silly lies. Later, Marinette comments that they still have not figured out the right way to make Kim understand. What she means is that they need to keep working on a proper solution. But Ondine misunderstands her words. She thinks Marinette is suggesting an actual challenge for Kim, where if she wins, she could earn a kiss as the prize. Acting on this misunderstanding, Ondine challenges Kim to an arm wrestling match. The loser must complete a dare. Ondine wins the match and dares Kim to kiss her. But Kim, still under the influence of Nelson's lies, refuses. This devastates Ondine, leaving her humiliated and brokenhearted. Her overwhelming emotions attract the power of Hawk Moth, an chrysalis, who akumatizes her into Sleeping Syren. Once transformed, Ondine demands that to free her from the sleep, someone must dive into the ocean and kiss her. Ladybug and Catnoir arrive at the scene to face this new villain. But Kim rushes to them, warning them not to kiss Ondine or else they will turn into toads. Ladybug calls upon the other heroes, everyone except Kim, to help save civilians while she and Catnoir deal with Sleeping Syren. Ruko joins the battle as well. Minotaurx is absent, possibly because he has already been turned into a toad. Viperion and Argos are not present either, since they are not in Brazil at the time. Ladybug and Catnoir transform into Aquabug and Aquanoir to fight underwater, while Ruko uses her water dragon power. But Kim interferes again, and Ruko ends up being struck and turned into a toad. Ladybug quickly upgrades into Aqua Dragon Bug, swooping in to save Kim from danger. Panicked, Kim blurts out, "Don't go and kiss Sleeping Syren." "It's a trick. If you do, you'll turn into a toad." Ladybug pauses and looks at him, shaking her head slightly. "Kim," she says firmly, "you can't believe everything other people tell you. You have to think for yourself." Hearing her words, Kim's eyes widen as the truth finally sinks and Nelson had been lying to him the entire time. A wave of guilt and fear washes over him. He worries that Ondine might never love him again after all this. But seeing Ladybug's calm encouragement, he takes a deep breath, pushes past his doubt, and calls on his Miraculous. In an instant, he transforms into King Monkey, ready to face the battle and make things right. Finally, they reach Sleeping Syren, but she is guarded by a huge water dragon. Before they can get to her, they must defeat it. Dragon Bug receives a bag of cement from her lucky charm. She throws it at the dragon, and Catnoir follows with Cataclysm. Then Dragon Bug uses her wind dragon power to transform the water dragon into a cement statue. With the guardian defeated, they can finally approach Ondine. King Monkey looks for the akumatized object, first suspecting the lip balm container, but it is not inside. Looking closer, he realizes that the lip balm is still on Ondine's lips. Using his power, he removes it, turning it into a physical object. Catnoir destroys it with Cataclysm, and Ladybug captures the Ultra Akuma. With her miraculous Ladybug power, Dragon Bug restores everything back to normal. Ondine is freed from the akumatization, and Paris is safe once again. Ladybug makes sure to tell Ondine that Kim had an important part in saving her and the city. Still, Cerise refuses to accept defeat. She mutters to herself that she will succeed next time. After the battle, Kim sincerely apologizes to Ondine, explaining that he had been fooled by Nelson's lies. Ondine also apologizes for pushing so hard about the kiss. She gently tells him, "You can take your time whether it's a month or a year." But then, to her surprise, Kim suddenly kisses her. And then he kisses her again and again. Their friends, amused and shy, cover their faces with their hands, but cannot hide their smiles as they give the couple some privacy. Meanwhile, Marinette finally tries the biscuit stick game with Adrien. This time, it works perfectly and the two share a sweet kiss. The episode closes with this warm and tender moment. In the post-credits scene, Ray and his friends are shown fuming with anger over their failed plan. Ray stubbornly insists there will be more couples to break apart in the future. But then, a hidden figure named Fury appears. With a cold and chilling voice, Fury declares, "There is no next time." This sudden appearance reveals that Ray and his friends are not working alone. They are only a small part of something much larger. They are part of something much larger. Ladybug and Catnoir will soon discover that their next enemies are not far away at all, but dangerously close. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates. Stay miraculous.